Good morning. Students, faculty, staff, alumni, thank you for being here today. We've come to talk about our future, but I want to begin the conversation by reaching back into our past. I begin with the story of a young professor of philosophy at Princeton University in the wake of World War II. The professor, at the behest of Dartmouth's then dean of the faculty, was convinced to pick up from Princeton and move to Hanover to become chairman of the mathematics department. His task was to revitalize the department, filling it with faculty of the first rank, capable of attracting the brightest students in the nation. It was a risky proposition, made riskier by the fact that this professor would be a non-tenured chairman. And yet, the philosopher-turned-mathematician, who had studied under Einstein, took the lead. He came to Dartmouth. He recruited tenaciously, and he built a stellar department from the ground up. And as a Dartmouth undergraduate, I had the great fortune to be a beneficiary of his efforts. But he did not stop there. A computer genius, he foresaw that while the invention of the computer was an incredible breakthrough, the real revolution would be putting computers into homes and classrooms across the country. So he helped invent the language that would make computers accessible, which we know as BASICS. But he did not stop there. He became president of the college, and he presided with calm during a time of tremendous unrest in our country. He inspired and managed the transition of Dartmouth to a coeducational college, without doubt the most significant change in our college's history. I share the story of John Kemeny, a story of risk, a story of best-in-class teaching, a story of leadership, a story of visionary problem-solving, a story of the courage to change, because it encapsulates perfectly the incredible promise that is Dartmouth. You've heard me speak before about my vision for our future. You've heard me speak of Dartmouth becoming an even stronger magnet for talent. A college that students select above others because of the educational experiences we offer and the chance to work directly with outstanding faculty. A college that faculty choose because of our path-breaking scholarship and the chance to work with the world's most driven students. You've heard me speak of the power of a liberal arts education in an age when information is ubiquitous, but wisdom is rare. And you've heard me speak of a campus that's even more intellectually energized, a site of significant academic innovation and entrepreneurship, a place of big ideas, bold efforts, and path-breaking scholarship. Everything is possible for Dartmouth. But our aspirations will never be realized if we fail to address a vital component: the environment in which our students live and learn. Like Kemeny, we must recognize a moment in time when change is necessary for us to reach our potential. And now is such a moment. So what are we after? What is the environment that will enable Dartmouth to fulfill our potential? As I see it, it's an environment where students are free of extreme behaviors and part of a safe and healthy campus. Where we foster inclusivity through a variety of options for community building and social interaction. Where students are around-the-clock learners. And yes, where students continue the tradition of independently organizing and defining the social scene, but with greater accountability and deeper engagement with faculty. This is the vision for the future of student life at Dartmouth. Today, I present you a program of changes that will move Dartmouth forward energetically towards that reality. Before I do, I owe enormous gratitude to the Presidential Steering Committee that has studied these issues extensively for the last 9 months. I thank the committee for their dedication to the difficult task that was put before them, and I especially thank Barbara Will for her tireless leadership and her relentless efforts to hear and include the thinking of the community. The steps that I'll share with you today are informed by research, inspired by crowdsourced ideas, and especially directed by the final report advanced to me by the committee. And while this morning I will detail some of the major interventions, there are others that we plan, and they come on top of impressive actions that we've taken in recent years. So I encourage you to visit the President's website, where you can read in detail the comprehensive list of steps that we'll take to move Dartmouth forward. But let's hit the high points. First, we will fundamentally transform the residential life at Dartmouth. We envision a campus that's more inclusive, where faculty and grad students play more influential roles in the life of undergraduates, where students learn and grow outside the classroom, and where we have more options for social life and community interaction. Our new housing plan addresses each of these important needs, and today I am pleased to report that we are aggressively moving forward to implement it. Beginning next year, with the class of 2019, every student who enters Dartmouth will be placed into one of 6 house communities. Each community will have a cluster of residence halls as home base, and from sophomore year on, students will reside within their residential community whenever they live within our dorms. But even if a student is living in a first-year dorm, a Greek house, an affinity house, a live-learn community, or off-campus, they will still remain a member of the residential community, included in all its activities, and partaking of all the rights and responsibilities of community membership. As part of this initiative, each residential community will organize and host social and academic programs, and eventually each will have dedicated space for study and social interaction. We are committing in excess of $1 million per year to support programming within the residential communities and other college venues. Each residential community will have a house professor and graduate students in residence. And we'll begin interviewing interested faculty within the next few weeks so that they can spearhead faculty and student involvement in the design of the residential communities and their activities. As we pilot new spaces and academic and social programming within these residential communities, I'm asking students, faculty, and staff, and alumni to be deeply involved. We must design the residential community system that works best for Dartmouth, and your enthusiasm and ideas will be crucial. At Dartmouth, we're working to create a more inclusive and diverse environment on and off campus, and to enrich our community and strengthen the academic experience. Our new housing model is one step forward in this regard, but there are others. In addition, we have committed $1 million per year to support the recruitment and retention of underrepresented faculty. Our provost and new vice provost will focus specifically on this objective. And at the same time, we will invest in new strategies to recruit a broad socioeconomic demographic of undergraduate students and to ensure that financial aid is available to those who need it. The bottom line is that we will work to ensure that our community conveys a message of inclusion to every student, faculty, and staff member at Dartmouth. I like the signs. Signs are good. Second, we will promote a safer and healthier campus environment. We envision a campus where students are free of extreme behaviors, where sexual assault and high-risk drinking are eradicated from our campus. Over the past few years, we've taken a number of steps to this end. Last June, we adopted a zero-tolerance sexual assault disciplinary policy with mandatory expulsion in the most egregious cases. And we moved to a new model providing for a professional investigation process with a trained independent investigator. We've introduced a customized bystander training program that trains students to help prevent sexual assault before it occurs. and I know that many of you students have participated in that training, and I thank you. Starting next year, we will introduce a comprehensive 4-year education and awareness program for students, as well as first responder training for faculty and staff. We will roll out a Dartmouth-specific smartphone safety app. Let the message be heard. We have and we will continue to take every proven step to prevent sexual assault and to respond promptly and fairly to reports. When it comes to a safe environment and one that's advantageous to learning, we know that excessive drinking is one of the most pressing challenges we face. Over the past 4 years, the D-CHIP program has brought us measurable and impressive improvements. But still, the steering committee found that high-risk drinking is far too prevalent on our campus, and that in the vast majority of alcohol-induced medical transports, it's hard alcohol, rather than beer or wine, that lands students on hospital gurney. Dartmouth will take the lead among colleges in banning hard alcohol on our campus. Undergraduate students will not be permitted to possess or consume hard alcohol in residential spaces or on other college property. And hard alcohol will not be served at events sponsored by college-recognized organizations. Penalties for students found in possession of hard alcohol will ramp up, as will penalties for those who purchase and provide hard alcohol to minors. And I'm asking the entire campus community to follow suit and not serve hard alcohol at college-sponsored events on campus. These initiatives will pave the way to a campus that is safer and free of extreme behaviors. But true and lasting change will not come from top-down policies like these alone. It will come from individuals and organizations committing to live up to a higher standard of behavior. And so third, we will clarify and strengthen expectations of individuals and student organizations. Today I want to return to a question that I posed in my inauguration speech. I want every member of the community to ask yourself, will your actions and decisions elevate our community and advance our mission, or will they set us back? To clarify what we expect of individuals, every student who enrolls at Dartmouth will be asked to sign a code of conduct beginning next fall. It will articulate the high expectations as they relate to civility, dignity, diversity, community, and safety that we have for Dartmouth students. These are the fundamentals for every graduate who wants to go out into the world and lead. There are some actions and behaviors that no policy can change or regulate. Vile practices online, such as bullying, anonymous threats, and attacks, fall into this category. For these behaviors, the Student Code of Conduct is particularly germane. Our expectation is that students at Dartmouth act with the same integrity in the shadow of the internet as they do in the light of day. And the Student Code of Conduct will make this expectation undeniable. Simultaneously, we're going to clarify and strengthen accountability for student organizations, especially as it relates to hosting social events. So on this topic, I would like to speak in particular about the complex issue of Greek life at Dartmouth. Over the past several months, many have suggested that we eliminate fraternities and sororities and co-eds. Many others have articulated the positive outcomes of Greek life and advocated for reform rather than elimination. At my request, the steering committee looked at colleges and universities that have minimal Greek life and those that have intense Greek life. And they researched and in some cases visited institutions that have already abolished fraternities and sororities. And their research found that every one of our peers, regardless of the history and intensity of the Greek scene, struggles mightily with high levels of harmful behaviors on their campus. I've given much thought to the future of fraternities and sororities on our campus, taking into account the input I've received and the work of the steering committee. And ultimately, I do not believe that simply eliminating this one aspect of campus life will be a comprehensive or even effective solution to the more pervasive challenges we face. It would not adequately address the charge I placed before our community of purging extreme behaviors wherever they occur on campus. Having said that, I maintain that Greek organizations, and indeed all student organizations at Dartmouth, must and will be held to much higher standards and a far greater level of accountability than they ever have before. To be clear, when I speak about accountability, what I do not mean is simply being accountable for following rules, for issuing wristbands or registering parties or maintaining strict sign-in procedures. I speak of an expectation that student organizations will exhibit behavior befitting Dartmouth's mission and name. That ultimately, student organizations will contribute to an environment that's respectful and inclusive and conducive to shaping leaders for the future. That they seek to elevate and not denigrate the Dartmouth experience. And so I've asked the Dean of the College to clarify in writing what we will expect of all student organizations and to put in place an annual review process to confirm those expectations. This will include an expectation that no student organization will encourage hazing or engage in pledge terms of any kind, and that organizations will take steps to be inclusive and diversify their membership. Going forward, it will be simple. Organizations that choose not to fulfill these higher standards will not be part of our community. Let me say that I am pleased and I'm optimistic about the progress I've seen by student organizations during the past year in their willingness to increase accountability and root out extreme behavior. The proposal advanced by the Greek Leadership Council this fall introduces a comprehensive set of reforms, which includes steps like the elimination of pledge term, which they've already enacted, requiring every house to have active advisors of more than one gender, and requiring each fraternity to commit at least 15% of their social programming budget for financial aid. That's just a sampling of their proposals. Taken together, this set of actions introduces more serious reform to the system than we've seen in 50 years. But they have to follow through, and it's my hope that this is only the beginning of much more to come. And so lastly, we will strengthen academic rigor and enhance learning outside the classroom. Our vision is for Dartmouth to be a college where every experience contributes to building leaders with the wisdom for a complex world. To achieve this vision, we will work to create a more vigorous academic environment. We will infuse campus life with more opportunities for learning and growth. On this, the faculty must lead, and today I'm asking their help in a number of areas, from curbing grade inflation to not canceling classes around celebration weekends, limiting layups, to earlier start times for classes on Tuesday and Thursday morning. Just think, students, those of you here today, instead of listening to me, in the future you could be in class. At the same time, I'm asking faculty and staff to play a larger and more influential role in the lives of students to promote learning and growth 24/7. To that end, I am announcing today a major investment to expand experiential learning at Dartmouth, including the creation of a center within DeKalb that will provide expertise and financial resources for faculty and students and staff to pilot new experiential learning opportunities. So, these are the steps that we will take to move Dartmouth forward. We will fundamentally transform residential life, and in doing so, make Dartmouth a more inclusive community. We will work to promote a safer and healthier campus environment. We will increase expectations of individuals and student organizations, and we will strengthen academic rigor while expanding opportunities for learning outside the classroom. And to ensure that these actions do, in fact, mark a turning point in our history, I have convened an external oversight committee to be chaired by Tufts President Emeritus Larry Bacow to evaluate our progress. This committee will hold us accountable by reporting to me and the Board of Trustees on a regular basis on the question of whether we are doing what we said today that we would do. In tandem, we will conduct 2 regular climate surveys to benchmark our progress. Beginning in April 2015, we will conduct the AAU Sexual Assault Climate Survey on a regular basis, along with a new Dartmouth Campus Climate Survey to be launched in the fall of 2015. And we will be transparent about our progress on all of these fronts. We will reevaluate and we will retool these steps as needed until we reach our end goal. So in closing, let me take you back to a wintry evening in April of last year when we first gathered to speak of Moving Dartmouth Forward. As I said to you that evening, much is expected of Dartmouth. We welcome the high expectations, and we will deliver. It is time. It is time to move our outstanding institution forward to the promise of our future, the promise captured by Kennedy that is our legacy to advance. When we succeed, we will succeed in building an institution never better prepared for the future of higher education, never better equipped to solve the complex challenges of our world, never better positioned to prepare graduates with the wisdom, confidence, and capacity to lead. I look to you, our students, faculty, staff, alumni, and parents, to help us step up to this challenge. Real change requires tenacity and courage and boldness and leadership. But if I've learned anything in the last 9 months, it is that no community is more capable of rising to meet the challenge we face today than the one I see before me. Colleges and universities, indeed communities across the country, face the issues that we've been discussing. We are not alone in facing them, but we will lead in saying no more. We will take the lead in American higher education, in restoring student life to a safe and sustainable place. We will offer a campus experience that is in every way worthy of our name, that is in every way conducive to the promise of our future. We will move Dartmouth forward. Thank you.